You click on your Excel sheet. So
Am
it's
I am I sharing?
yes.
Can you say it?
I can see a tiny version of it.
What?
I need to see
Wait,
your entire screen. So maybe it's me. Never mind. I got it. All
good.
right. So what we did was we went to we don't you don't need to explain that, but you do want to talk about the fact that your p-value, which is in R, column R,
Column
um,
R, p-value, yes,
yeah,
4.97.
but it isn't 4.97. It's e to the negative 20th. So
So
it's
what does that mean?
it's truncated. It's like point zero 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 zero, 20 zeros and then 497 at the end.
Wow.
So it definitely is zero. So your F critical compared to your F observed, the F critical is in column S, and your F value, which is your calculated values, in the column Q. So remember, if the OV is greater than the CV, you're also going to reject a
Get
null.
to know.
So we are rejecting a null all the way, and so therefore, at least one of the averages in this particular data set is different. So it looks like Enfamil powder perhaps is one of the ones that really sticks out because that's 16.32558 for an average
Right.
with a variance of 136. That's huge.
That is huge.
Yeah. And look at the
Wow.
sum. The sum is also different, varied. So that is what you're talking about because honestly the difference between 2021 and 2022, come on. There's no
Right.
argument there. There's
I
no
know.
argument. You
I
can
just
also
didn't realize how bad
yeah,
it would
exactly.
be.
No, but you have what you need here. You can also talk about your sum of squares between groups, sum of squares within groups. So in other words, there's a significant difference between the M famil and the others. Leave it at that,
Right.
right? Because 506 compared to everything else, huge difference. With an average of 16 compared to everything else, huge difference. And now look at the variance. Now, the question is, what if we take, when you can run this and argue this too, if we take Enfamil out and just run Happy, Baby Powder, Enfagro, Gerber, Similac, and so on, ignore this one that's an anomaly, or at least it seems to be an anomaly. Let's ignore it and run the rest of the data again. How does that affect our F p value or F critical? Will we reject a null? Will we fail to reject a null?
So you're saying take out, because this is like an outlier per se.
Huge. Yeah, that's
Yes.
exactly how I would discuss it. This is out of the blue, out of the
Right.
norm. Let's take it out.
Excuse me. Take it out.
Yeah, what I'm saying is down the road, go back to your data set, take out that data, uh, that particular column, take it out completely, and let's run that ANOVA again. If you want to do that now, we can. So let's copy all that data from B2 to J33. So grab all that all the way over, all the way down, all the way over. You gotta hold it down if not. Yeah, there you go. Control copy
Sheet.
and drop
So
it
I want it
there.
on another sheet.
Yeah, drop it there. Control paste. Okay. So we're gonna get rid of we said
E,
Enfagro.
right?
Yeah, let's delete. Was it that one or the other one? Go down to the bottom.
Oh,
What
I
is
didn't
this?
copy the
What is the sum of that?
506.
Yeah, so that's the one you're gonna get rid of.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Let's go and let's get rid of that. So let's just delete.
Okay.
So go to right click delete
The
all
entire row, right?
column.
Column, rows are across.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now let's highlight that again. Well, actually, now we're going from A1 all the way down to H. Keep going down.
Oh, wait. Why do I have 32?
That's fine. Okay.
Okay, that's right.
So
Um,
A1 to A32. Go to data.
data,
Yep. Hit OK.
single factor,
Uh huh.
and the
And then
same
hold on. Go back to this up here.
up
Input
here.
and input. Yeah. Change that to. Get rid of that. All of that. Get rid of it. Put A1 column H32. And then we have labels in the first row. We're going to use 0.5. We can use M2. That's fine. Hit OK.
Oh, I just missed it. Excuse me. M2.
And then hit OK. And let's see what happens. Okay. Do you see our p-value is now more realistic?
Yes.
It's still going to be a reject and all. Remember, p less than alpha, reject and all.
Right.
So we are still rejecting an all. There's still a difference between at least one of those is different from the other. And just because they look the way they do doesn't mean that that's the reason.
So let me see. Where was our other sheet?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it this one?
So
4.9 and then 1.97. Wow.
yeah, it's a huge difference.
Indeed. So should I put those sheets together or should I leave it like that and submit it and then discuss that in my paper that I reran the numbers without the outlier?
So I wouldn't call it an outlier. I would say that that was an extreme result.
Extreme result.
Yeah, the average was extreme. See, these averages are close. 3.5. No. Yeah, that's extreme. Yeah. Whereas the other ones are not that extreme. They're pretty
Yeah.
much consistent. And that's all you're going to do. You're going to show off what you learned. Anything you can think of with p-value, p versus alpha, OV versus CV. Do we reject an all? Do we fail to reject an all? Remember that what we're saying when we fail to reject an all, we're saying they're all are equal. Or equal in ish. I want to say equal ish.
Right.
Maybe take out happy baby powder eventually. You know what I'm saying? So you keep playing with that. And then take that out and run it again. And does the p-value even come even closer and so on? At which point do they flip around and they're all pretty much consistent?
Right.
That's all. Just talk about data. Numbers, numbers, numbers.
And this one with the variance of 21, which is a high one.
That is a high one, yeah. So anyway, so that's your paper right there. Done.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right, let me and make sure you talk about, like I said, make sure you talk about the null and alternative hypothesis and the type of test you ran.
I ran, excuse me, an Anova test,
One
single factor,
single factor ANOVA, exactly.
and excuse me, my null.
The null is that all of the averages for each of those beta formulas are equal. There's not one that has variation. That's your null. The alternative is at least one does have variation, and you proved it. The null
Okay.
is that all averages are equal. The null is equal. I don't know what that means for you. So remember that null means that all the averages of each of those baby formula groups is equal.
And the alternative.
At least one is different. At least one of the averages is different. Now, also remember, after you discuss this, you're going to discuss the P versus alpha formula. And you're also going to discuss the OV versus CV formula. And you have the OV and CV right here. Your OV is the F statistic right here. If you look here, I wouldn't even write that down.
Right here.
Come back over here. This is your OV on the F, right above the F.
OV.
That's a F critical. That's your CV.
Oh, CV. Okay.
That's your critical value. That's not OC, it's CV.
CV.
Critical value. And over here, next to MS, is over here. You see the F?
Oh, F.
Yeah, that's your OV. That's your observed value. Now, the p-value, obviously you see it there. And if you want alpha, we're going to use an alpha of 0.05.
Correct. I remember that in the data.
Yeah, so that's your paper right there. Done. You're going to run it a couple of times. You're going to talk about why you removed the second column of the original data set. And you're going to talk about it being extreme, which is why you removed it.
Right.
And now you landed here, and now you're also considering doing it again because you notice you've got 4, 5, 6, but then you have a 3 that's sticking out like a sore thumb. So you're going to run that again.
Right.
Do you see what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
So
Yeah.
you're gonna keep at it. And you also, if you want to look at the variance, look at Similac. That's a 19 variance, but Enfagrow a 21. If you're gonna
Yeah.
focus on variance, so try to run it a few times and just argue about that and look at your p-value versus that and such on. All right. So
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think you're in good shape. Let me do the stop record here. I have to actually do this. Okay, I'm gonna